said, we are going to be talking about drinks, juices, beverages, anything pretty much that you give your children that's already in liquid form. Now I've got an array of different kinds and I will tell you what they are and then we can start talking. Again, my name is Ifenwa Omesiete and I'm a pediatric nutritionist practicing clinically, but today I want to talk to you about what's really in your children's food. Now the focus of this video is going to be about drinks, so you're going to see a lot of glasses. But don't worry, I'll explain what's in the glasses and then we can take it from there. Remember, the essence of these videos are so that you can make more informed decisions about the choices and food choices that you make for your children by knowing exactly what's inside. Stay tuned. Today we're talking about drinks and juices. So I've got a milk fruit drink, I've got a chocolate beverage, I've also got two different kinds of mango juices, I've got a berry drink, I've also got a orange drink, as well as a tropical fruit mix. So let's get into what exactly is in these guys. Okay, so the first drink we're going to look at is this. This is a fruit milk drink that's got fruit and some milk, right? It's creamy in texture, consistency, and it's also whitish or off-whitish in color. Okay, so let's get into the nutritional content. Again, these videos, the essence of these videos is for us to discuss what's the ingredients, what the nutritional value is, and then you will decide whether it's appropriate for your child or not. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing I have here has water, milk, sugar, apple concentrate, CMC, citric acid, lactic acid, potassium sorbate, vitamin complex, DHA, edible essence. Now it says that the composition of this is that fruit is more than or equals to about 5%, and then the milk is about 30%, equals to a little over 30%. So there's no like definite quantity. Now, one of the things that's really important when you're reading labels is that you understand that you're moving from the biggest to the smallest. So the first ingredients or the first set of ingredients are usually the largest constituent in that product that you have. And as it goes down, there's less. Now let's read what else we have on the label. So it says that it's DHA plus, super for brain, supports brain development. It's a nutritious milk with a natural apple taste. Now let's talk about some of these words and some of the way that they're used. For example, an apple concentrate simply means that the juice from the apple or the sugar content from the apple has been extracted, leaving out things like the fiber as well as some of the nutrients that you would get in like the core that's not in the liquid form. So essentially what you're getting out of this is the apple concentrate, right? Also, the first three ingredients, which are the largest, is water, milk, and sugar. I would have thought apple would have been second, especially since this is supposed to be a nutritious milk with natural apple taste, right? I would have assumed so too. Now, let's look at the nutritional labeling. In the nutritional labeling, it says here that this is about 210 milliliters. Okay, that's how much is in this glass right now. We've got less than 1% of protein, less than 1% of fat. Carbohydrate is less than 5 milligrams. Then we've got some vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin B3, B6, B12, C, D, E. All of them are between the ranges of 30 to about 120 micrograms in quantity of what's in this packaging. Then you've got some calcium, magnesium, potassium. Energy is more than 140 kilojoules. Now, one of the questions I want to definitely ask if I do get the opportunity to ask is that where does the apple, concentrate come in? What is the nutritional context of that? What's the nutritional context of the carbohydrates? Because if this is supposed to be like a milk drink, I would have assumed that protein would have been a significantly larger portion of this drink, right? The nutritional fact that I just stated is 400 of this. So what that simply means is that half of this is where you would have less than 1 gram of protein, less than, all the things I just listed. So essentially what they're saying is that typically double the amount is what is in here, okay? So again, I'll say that typically double the amount of what they've listed as their nutritional facts is what is in here. So take that into consideration when you want to buy milk drinks. You want to make sure that it's not just concentrates that's in there. There's actually some other parts of the fruits, because this doesn't even contain any fiber. So if you're going to be giving your children this, you want to make sure that you're getting good sources of fiber into their diet, because this drink is not going to be providing that for you. Okay, now I've got another one here. This is a chocolate beverage, okay? It's lightish brown in color, also a bit thick, kind of similar to the milk drink that we had, okay? So let's read what this is. In here, there is water, skimmed milk powder, malt extract, sugar, vegetable oil, cocoa powder, acidity regulators. The acidity regulators in here are magnesium carbonate, sodium ascorbate, disodium hydrogen phosphate, and then there's also got some stabilizers. The stabilizers are E466, E407, E460, and then we've also got vitamins. So you have vitamin C, B3, B6, B2, D, B12, and there's something called ferric pyrophosphate. Then there's flavors. There's vanillin, chocolate, and then the sweetener here is sucralose. Okay, that was a mouthful. That was a mouthful. I feel like I just read a whole textbook in just this one glass of a chocolate drink. Now, I like my chocolate drinks to be rich. I like my chocolate drinks to be tasty, and I definitely like my chocolate drinks to have chocolate. The chocolate here is listed as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, number 6 on the list, while the water and skim milk are on top of the list. Again, the question I always want you to always ask is, this is supposed to be a chocolate drink. How much chocolate is actually in here? And apart from that, there's so much more else in this little cup here that does give me a bit of concern, because there are things that I personally can't really pronounce. I'm doing my best to get the English out, but one thing is really important. If you can't pronounce it, look it up. I'll say that again. If you can't pronounce it, look it up. When you look it up, make sure that it's from a natural source. If it's not from a natural source, your body is not going to understand what that is, especially not a child who's trying to develop themselves. So always look up the stuff that you read on labels. Is really important, so that you're sure of exactly what you're putting into your body and your child's body. Okay, so we read the ingredients. Now let's look at the nutritional facts. It says this pack provides about 136 calories of energy. Wow, guys, that's a lot. This thing is about 200, yeah, kind of similar to the first drink that we had. It's about 200 milliliters. Okay, also you've got carbohydrates in there, which is about 18.9 grams. Then the sugars, because it always says of which are sugars, is about 14.9 grams. And then fiber, there's no fiber in here. Protein is about 4.6. Sodium here is about 106 milligrams. There's some calcium, 281 milligrams. There's some iron as well. Then there's phosphorus and the other vitamins. Now, for me, I would have assumed that the vitamins would come on top, because that's what your children really need. They really need to get all the nutrients that they can at such a young age, because that's what's going to ensure that their body is developing properly, making sure that the mechanisms in their system are functioning at fullest capacity. Brain development is key. organ development is key, digestion is primary, and of course for some parents they want their children to gain weight, and those are all the things that come into play when you have good vitamins and minerals in your food. This was listed last on this particular product, and also the sugars here is about 14.9 grams. That's quite a bit, because that's just a little drink that, you know, a child could probably take at break time or as a snack or something like that. And they're going to be getting sugars from everything else, from fruits, from other types of foods that they eat. So you definitely want to make sure that you're taking into consideration the sugar intake of your children, and not thinking that these things are just there to fill up or just to pass by or to, you know, wet their mouth. They actually have contents in them that you want to be mindful of. Okay, so we're done with the beverage-like drinks, and now we are going to move into mango drinks. I've got two different kinds here. This particular one is much smaller, followed by this particular one. So we'll start with the smaller one first. Okay, now this smaller one has mango puree concentrates, which is about 10% of the juice content. There's sugar, there's an acidifier, which is E330, stabilizers, which is E415, vitamin C, mango flavoring, coloring, which is beta carotene, so that's kind of what gives us this orange color, and then you have water. Okay, guys, that was a lot. Again, it's supposed to be a mango drink. I'm a little confused. I really feel like we should really read our labels at this point, because that's a lot of things that's inside just one mango drink. There's a period in the year, usually between March and about May, June, you have mangoes in excess in season. We have different kinds, different flavors. You can puree them, you can make them into smoothies, you can make them into popsicles, and they don't have a bunch of the other stuff that I just read out. So again, this is supposed to educate you so you actually know what you're giving your child. Now let's look at the nutritional facts, shall we? Now the entire, so this is the size. This is about 100 mils, okay? And in 100 mils, you have no fat, you have 15 grams of carbohydrates, and of which our sugars is 15 grams. So essentially, all the carbohydrates in this drink is actually sugar. You have no protein, and then you have about 8 milligrams of of vitamin C in here. Now, keep in mind that sugar is needed by the body. In fact, when you eat any kind of food that you have, any food at all, that's majority made out of carbohydrates, the body cannot tell the difference whether you ate yam, whether you drank mango drink, whether you drank milk drink, whether you drank chocolate drink. It doesn't really know the difference. All it knows is that when it's metabolized by the body, you're getting sugar. Now again, I'm coming back to this particular drink because just in this little 100 mils, and 100 mils is the equivalent to about 100 grams, okay? In this 100 grams, you have about 15 grams of it as plain sugar. And if we read the ingredients again, you've got mango puree concentrate. And if you remember my talk when I spoke about apple concentrate, concentrate essentially is just the sugar portion of the fruit. There's no fiber, there's none of those things in there. Here it doesn't say anything about having any fiber, there's no protein, there's no fats, just about 15 grams of sugar, and then some vitamin C, which is about 8 milligrams. Again, I'll leave the decision up to you. My job here is just for me to be able to educate you on what the contents are. Okay, the next part, I also have another mango drink. Now I want you to pay close attention to these two drinks. Can you see them? They are very, very similar in color, but one has more and the other has less. Now I didn't drink any of these. I wanted this to be as raw of a video as possible. So in this particular one, now remember there are two mango drinks. In this particular mango drink, there's water, sugar, ascorbic acid, potassium sorbate, sodium benzonate, xanthan gum, citric acid, mango flavors, mango concentrates. Now, in one of the courses that I teach called the Peace Nutrition Challenge under a brand that I co-founded called Nutrition for Kids, one of the things we do there is we talk about the different kinds of sugars that they are, because sometimes we think that sugar is just sugar. Sugar comes in different forms and is called different things. One of the things that I want you to pay attention to here is that here they have water and they have sugar, and then they have ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is supposed to be what you would get out of fruits that contain vitamin C. Now, it says potassium sorbate, it says sodium benzoate, it says xanthan gum, citric acid, and then mango flavors and mango concentrates. I have an issue with this. The issue that I have with this personally is mango flavors and mango concentrates are all the way at the bottom. Technically, this is supposed to be a mango fruit drink. So again, what is really in what you're giving your children? Question that I leave you to answer. This doesn't have any nutritional facts, and I think this is about 200 mils in a pack, so you do the math. We've already talked about so many things. I want to get to the other drinks that I have present with me here. But again, 2 different variants of mango, 2 different ways to make mango fruit juice. You get to decide which one of them is really the one that actually has mango in it. Okay, now the next one is this berry drink, and in this berry drink there's water, sugar, glucose syrup, black currant juice from the concentrate, there's citric acid, there's vitamin C, there's a preservative which is also potassium sorbate. I feel like I've heard that name before. I think I heard it in one of the mango drinks if I'm mistaken. Maybe you should rewind and catch that again. Then there's also flavorings, and then there's colorings, and there's anthocyanins. Anthocyanins do occur naturally in certain fruits, and that's what gives them that rich, vibrant berry color that you see. So you get them in berries, you get them in strawberries, raspberries, cranberries, grapes as well, black currants, blueberries. That's what gives them that rich, dark color. And one of the true benefits of the rich, dark color that you get from berries is that they're high in antioxidants. One of the highest sources of antioxidants for the body. So if you can get your children to eat fresh fruits and fresh berries, I definitely advise you to do so. Okay, now this particular pack had about 125 mils. I drank a little bit. It has about 125 mils in there. Okay, in that you have, there's no fats. Carbohydrates is about 11.5 grams, and the sugar, of which are sugars, is about 11.1 grams. Then there's some vitamin C, which is about 20.8. The good news is that there's more vitamin C in this than there was in any of these guys, okay? So this is a little better on the spectrum. Again, the truth of the matter is, and I feel like I need to get this across, is please read your labels. The first 3 ingredients here is water, sugar, and glucose syrup. Before we even get to the actual fruit, which is the berry, which is blackcurrant. Now, really is, and again, if you look at the label says of which our sugars is about 11.1 grams. There's 125 grams in here, which is 125 mils, and out of that, 11 of it is already sugar. Read your labels so you can protect your children. I've got 2 more drinks, and I'll sort of breeze through those because I kind of wanted you guys to get the full picture. The next drink is an orange drink, a very popular one that I feel like a lot of us like to drink. Well, you'd like to give your children. Sometimes you might also drink it too. In this one, there's water, sugar, orange concentrates, citric acid, vitamin C. Oh, this is a short list. It says it's a fruit drink, no artificial flavors, colors, sweeteners, or preservatives added. That's reassuring. but we have water, sugar, orange concentrate, citric acid, and vitamin C. Again, my question comes back to, why does it always seem like sugar seem to be listed second on the list with a lot of these fruit drinks? Are we just drinking sugar or are we drinking fruit juice? Again, remember, for children who are below the age of 1, you want to make sure that they're not getting any juices at all. In fact, some of these brands, if you take a look at their labeling, they actually tell you immediately that this is not recommended for babies. You can start with a toddler from like 2 years and 3 years. I'm sure if you ask questions from the brands themselves, they'd be able to give you that information. So again, these fruit juices clearly are really just made out of a lot of water and a lot of sugar, especially if it's not sugar from the fruit. Like one of them had 2 before it was even listed about the fruit. So again, read your labels so you can decide what is best for your child. This drink didn't have any nutritional facts on the labeling, which for me sometimes is a concern because I kind of want to know what the benefits are if I'm going to be taking this product. So we'll move on to the last one. I think we're doing pretty good, don't you? I've given you 7 variations, and you can do some more research on your own too. The last one I have here is a tropical fruit delight. This tropical fruit delight has mixed fruit concentrates and compounds of orange, mango, pineapple, passion fruit, and then it has water, sugar, E330, ascorbic acid, which is E300, stabilizers, which are E466 and E412, and then a color, which is E168. In all that I've just said, I feel like the summary from all of this is that preservatives seem to need to be added for these to stay on the shelves for as long as they have to. Now, the problem with preservatives is that if they're not gotten from a natural source, they can tend to be problems for you. And the more natural something is, the more expensive it is to kind of sustain. So keep that in mind. Now, let's look at the nutritional facts for this drink. Look at how vibrant and rich the color is. That's really interesting. And if you read the nutritional labels, it doesn't say anything about adding any kind of color. So there's a lot of richness in whatever concentrates that they picked out. Okay, there's energy, of course. You have sugars in there. There's carbohydrates, about 13 grams. There's no fiber. I've already explained this, that most juices don't contain any fiber. There's no protein, and there's no sodium. So really, all of this is just a rich source of carbohydrates in simple sugar forms. So I hope this episode was really enlightening. We talked about a milk drink, a chocolate drink, 2 different kinds of mango drinks with 2 separate ingredients in them, a berry drink, an orange drink, and a tropical flavored drink. Which one of these are you currently giving your children, if you know which brands they are? And what decisions are you going to make moving forward in regards to the kind of content that you're offering your children in the form of juices? I personally prefer to make fresh juices right off the fruits from the garden or buying it from the market. And I'm also a big fan of making smoothies as well, because that way you would get all the fiber that you're missing out from juices. Remember, children who are under 1 are not supposed to be taking any fruit juices. Above 1, they can have fruit juices. Again, my name is Ifeno Amesiete, and I'm a pediatric nutritionist. And I hope this has been an enlightening session that's going to educate you to make more informed decisions for your children. Until the next episode, bye.